And thank you, Sarah. This is great. Great to have your time. We deeply appreciate your efforts in Social Economy Europe. It has been a journey over the past number of years working with the social economy, and how incredible it has been to see so many diverse players all come together under one unified unit, which is something that you lead. You are the director of Social Economy Europe. Could you maybe just introduce yourself, what Social Economy Europe is, and why is it relevant, or why is it important as an organization?
Yes, so I'm Sarah Dehush. I'm Director of Social Economy Europe. And what Social Economy Europe does is we federate the different families of social economy. So the associations, the mutuals, the foundations, the cooperatives, and social enterprises. And we come together to speak as one voice at European level. And we really advocate towards EU institutions for better legislation and for social economy to flourish across Europe and develop its full potential.
Now, your focus is on policy, which is
Mhm.
about the decisions that affect everybody and why they're really, really important. Can you give us a flavor of what that sort of means, even just in a generic sense, like not even specifics, but
Mhm.
what does policy mean? Like, how does that affect everybody?
Well, basically, it's going to be what's on a legal level, it's going to be what's going to be allowed or not, what is going to be favored or not. For example, I'm just going to give an example
Yeah.
for to make it concrete. In public procurements, if it's only the lowest price that takes it, it means that all the organizations and enterprises that have virtuous ways of working, like paying people well and being careful about the environmental impact, they're going to be more expensive. So then they're never going to get it. But if there are social and environmental clauses, it means that those organizations and enterprises can actually access these. Or even if we want small and medium enterprises to access them, there also needs to be policies in which they can slice up the budgets so those are accessible. So those are going to be like legal changes. Then there's policies that are wider and that can be about what strategies. So how do we want to support a certain type of sector of activity or way of functioning and so on. And
So you're
also how
affecting
budget is allocated.
you're affecting the rules. Like, it makes a huge difference. Obviously, people are elected for those rules. Can you explain a little bit about like how that functions and how you interrelate with parliamentarians and politicians, and how your role is integrated with a lot of the work that they do?
So that would be about explaining the whole process of decision making. But basically, if the usually the commission proposes policies, legislation, the parliament, and then also the council, so that is the governments, have to approve. Often there are amendments before it's totally approved. So basically, you have to talk with everybody and try and make sure that they're going in the directions that you want to see legislation or policy going through. So you have to have contacts with everybody.
So the council, the commission, the parliamentarians, everybody, you have to get involved in that infrastructure, because one decision convincing one body is not necessarily going to be the one that convinces the other body, and everybody needs to be on the same page, and they all need to understand that social economy, for example, is in itself a whole thing.
Yes, indeed. And that it needs a level playing field. We're in a world where everything was designed just to make profits, and our model is different. So, but it has been recognized by a lot of institutions, ILO, OECD, even the Commission, as a way of doing business that is actually has not only is it's economically strong, it's about 1 trillion of turnover in 2021. It's 4 million enterprises, over 11 million jobs. But it also has, most of all, an added value in terms of social cohesion, social innovation, social protection, green transition, name it. All the intangible that makes life more fair, I would say, and the community more lively, but also that upholds democracy is really what we stand behind and what we support.
This is the complication, because it is in itself identified as its own pillar, but obviously intersects with so many other types of things, like the just transition, the energy, all the bits that you were saying, education, social culture. Um,
Care.
could you explain a little bit about, like, because I realize midterm review and things like that. Is there, like, what are the sort of things that are happening at the moment, or what's on your plate?
Mm. Well, we have the same president of commission as the last commission, but the agenda is very different. Let's say from van der Leyen 1 to van der Leyen 2. Before, the objectives were very straightforward. It was green and digital fair transitions. Now the geopolitics have changed everything, and it's about defense, and then it's about competitiveness, and then it's the rest. So that has a big impact in terms politically, because Europe had always kind of thought it was at peace. This is a new, but it's also going to have a huge impact on the budget allocation and the focus of the governments. In fact, this year, there is the negotiations on the next budget, multi-financial framework, it's called, for the EU.
Mhm.
And there's going to be money for defense, which was not the case before. A lot of his expenses in defense. And so that means there's going to be less money for all the rest.
Mhm.
And not only is there's this aspect, there's also the question of what types of activities want to be funded and how the grants and funding and investment are going to be allocated. And it is changing a lot. Apparently, right now it's right under negotiations. There's been a first proposal from the Commission, and it seems like they want to bring together a lot of different strands that they had developed. And it seems like the ESF, so the European Social Fund Plus and cohesion funds, are not going to be targeted as such anymore, which is a problem for everything, for all the social matters, but also for social economy. I mean, social economy, it can be fully fledged enterprises, but it can also have a whole part of it, which is more about, charities, social services, health care, education, training, which needs actually proper support. So not seeing those earmarked anymore is preoccupying for the ecosystem. Um, and also, and also what's in the pipeline right now is the midterm review of the Social Economy Action Plan. In the past commission, social economy was recognized as a key actor, key ecosystem for the social cohesion, but also in terms of economic development. And now it's been deprioritized. We can see it in different ways. For example, there used to be a unit of social economy within DG Grow and DG Employment, and DG Grow let go of it. So now it's only in DG Employment. So this is going to have an effect already on how this social economy action plan can unravel. It was adopted in 2021, supposed to go up until 2030. A lot of the 63 actions in this action plan have been launched, but they're not fully implemented yet. So right now there's a midterm review, and we're going to evaluate indeed what has been properly implemented or not, or maybe what's missing and what should be updated given the different world in which we are in right now, with wars, with economic wars, with inflation, growing inequalities, and so on. It's really a different panorama from what we had a few years ago.
And that battle, how important it is. Like, I realize we're talking on SEAP, the Social Economy Action Plan. We're talking about ESF, the social funds. We're talking about all the pieces that come together. This is complex in a lot of ways, and it can be very overwhelming for an awful lot of people entering the space.
Mm.
All of that to say is that it's important that we recognize that somebody does recognize the complexity of this, the interoperability of it, the strategic nature of it, and where it all goes, the politics nature of it. It's fantastic to have an organization that's doing all of that. Obviously, your work includes things like the financial framework, like where money's been spent over the next good number of years. Could you tell us about maybe where this is all going and how important it is to have representation at the highest level?
Well, it's important that that our views are also seen at European level, and that some people are there to make sure that all the legislation, the budget, the policies are going in the right direction. So what we do is, like, for example, right now there's been a lot of consultation also regarding the MFF, and we've been answering all those. And we also, of course, as I said, go and see the different key people. For example, for the MFF, it's going to be the rapporteurs and things like that, the commission as well. But what we need now, it's a real battle. For example, for the social funds, there are MEPs that want it, and not I mean, from different parties, European groupings. So it's important to show backup. For example, when there was the DG Grow that announced that they would shut its unit on social economy, if we did a plea, we asked for
Mhm.
signatures, and the fact that we had so many signatures so quickly is a good signal. We haven't seen a change yet, but at least it shows the commission that there's constituency behind this. And for the MFF, I think it goes beyond only an interest of social economy. It's about preserving the social values of the EU. They exist. They're in the EU treaty. Those are the funds that allow, I don't know, underserved regions to get funding that they would never get from their member states, for example, right? Or even support to unemployed. Many of the services that are being delivered at a regional, local level are actually funded or co-funded by the EU level. So if you want to see those continue, if there's any, I don't know, campaign with mobilizing signatures and all this, when there are negotiations, this is a good moment to do it, to
Mhm.
show at the parliament, at the commission, that people want these funds. They want these activities to be developed on the local level. So I know the EU seems very far to a lot of people, even those who live in Brussels, because you always say Brussels. But actually, what happens there is going to have an impact on the ground. And I'm very happy that Social Economy Europe, we really have a dialogue between information goes up and down, but I would like to see more of that direct local to EU level happening as well. And we try to mediate that communications through campaigns and so on. And so, yeah, if there's a message, is if you see these campaigns, sign it, disseminate it, show that your social Europe counts. Social show that you care for social economy, that you care for a type of economy that puts the primacy of people over profit, that redistributes the added value, and that also caters democratic governance. You have people have to show that they care.
You've kind of answered my next question, which was around, we're dealing with all levels. We're dealing with service users and staff and like senior management and boards and entities and local and county in our case and regional and national and European and international. There's all these levels. And, you're trying to manage expectations on all of those pieces. But for anybody coming in as a social economy, Irish social enterprise, Irish entity, how best do you think people can get involved? You've already mentioned the most important one, which is when this comes up, share your opinion and like get active and like sign the things and hopefully get involved and learn more. Is there any other particular things that strike you as ways that people should be more aware, get involved, do all the things? What would you like to see?
Well, for example, also right now, what's important at national level is the implementation of the recommendation. So every member state is supposed to make a strategy to develop and help social economy emerge and develop fully at national and local level. Get interested in this topic. Tell your government you want a strong strategy. Get involved with intermediate bodies, representative body, networks that represent social economy so that they bring your voice there too. Mm, that's how we go from local to national, then to European transmission of information or what's important and everything. So this is an opportunity. You still have a few months to say we want a strong social economy action plan at level, at Irish level. We want strong funding. Your member state is also going to be negotiating this EU budget. It's time to tell them what you want, and you can, of course, for every enterprise or organization, it's complicated to do it on their own. But if they federate around an organization at regional or national level, then their voice can be really heard. And it's also a way of mutualizing resources so that together, all these voices, somebody takes care of, bringing them forward at the adequate level. And in fact, we
Brilliant.
also have members in Ireland.
Of course. Thank you so much for all of your work and support. We know how important it is, and to you and to the team, I know how hard that can be to wrangle all the stuff. But in all my time in all of the European meetings that I've ever been, it's been an incredible unifying approach where most often people feel comfortable and happy to be able to support the initiatives of what you're doing and how you're going about it, because that's important. It's important for everybody. It has huge knock-on effects. So well done. Thank you. And really
Thank you.
appreciate the call today, and looking forward to seeing how it'll grow and develop. And I have no doubt even getting stronger over the next number of years.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye.